Hari Om. Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. Please come. Let's pray together. Vasato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord, the Almighty, who also has the divine names Dhama and Satyaha, to such a omniscient and omnipresent Almighty, together we offer our sincere and humble salutations, filled with faith, devotion and prapatti, to seek your grace, your mercy, your blessings, your love, your forgiveness, your compassion, your strength. O Lord, please bless us with these divine qualities like Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya, only and only to understand thy true nature. And we beseech in you that at the end of our lives, please pay way to reach your holy feet. Om Tat Sat. Today, we are on our Divine Discourse number 268, the 22nd of February 2022, Plavanama Samvatsar, Uttarayan, Shishira Rutu, Magha Mas, Krishna Paksha and Shashti. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, Na ham karta hari preranaya hari prityartam. We all take a firm resolve that everything which happens to me in my life, every situation, every circumstance, every incident, through any person, place, or object, is purely at the behest of the Almighty, only and only to uplift my soul from this Bhavasagar, ocean of births and death. I accept everything with humility and seek everything as divine blessing. Om Tat Sat. Our humble salutations to the Guru Parampara. Hari Om. Good evening, all of you. A very warm welcome to each one of you. So today, we shall study with a slight detour. Now, as we all have understood in this 13th chapter, which is the beginning of the Jnana Parva is the knowledge section of the entire Bhagavad Gita, where now finally Lord Krishna is concluding. He says, you as a sadhak, a sincere sadhak, you want to attain mukti. Mukti even while living, meaning you want to live blissfully. So for that he says, now he has given in the first 12 chapters about karma and bhakti, and now in the third segment, the last 6 chapters, he is going to talk about jnana. How do you achieve that? This is fine, it's said. You will attain mukti, you will attain salvation, you will attain self-realization. So the chapter starts with Arjuna asking Lord Krishna 3 couple questions. KHETRAJNA, then Prakriti and Purusha, and Jnana and Jneya. Now after answering these 3 couple questions, now Krishna says, okay, I have told you enough. I am going to give you the eyes of spiritual knowledge, Jnana Chakshu. So from verse 26 to 34, he gives us straight dictums. He says, I am going to give these declarations. Now you grasp them and you imbibe them in your mind. And let it go deep in your mind and let it become your self-knowledge. And that will liberate you. So this is what he very openly said. So now we have learnt so far up till now, we learnt up to verse 28 during our last class. So today we'll go in for verse 29. So before that, what is the synopsis of verse 26 to 28? We'll just take a look at that. So verse 26 says, all the movable and immovable you see in this existence is by the union of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. This is one dictum he gave. So meaning whatever you see, which is stationary and which is moving, is caused or is born out of the union of the Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Now we know what is Kshetra, Kshetrajna. Okay. That's the first dictum he gives. Then he says in the next verse 27, he says, who are the true seers? True seers meaning who are seeing what is to be seen. Meaning who are not seeing what is not to be seen. So he says the true seers are only those who know that Paramatma accompanies the Atma, which is present in all the beings, and who understand that both Atma and Paramatma are imperishable in this perishable body. So in every perishable body, you have the Atma and you also have the Paramatma. says, look at that. Don't just look at yourself as this body, this mind, this senses, and this world of all objects and pleasure, and you are lost in that. Understand that beyond what you have thought yourself to be as the body, mind, and senses complex, there is also something known as the Atma and the Paramatma. Then you have seen things in the right perspective. So, now the verse 28, he says, in this way those who see the Paramatma in every soul who is present as the Atma, they do not degrade themselves with their minds. See, meaning what is trying to say the Lord? That I have given you a mind, an intellect, which in the entire 84 lakh species I have not given to any other creature which I have created. I have given you that. So that mind you are not degrading. Otherwise, you have degraded your mind and you are just like any other animal, insect, bird or a being. So, and because of such seeing, he says, you will attain that Paramagati. In this way. Now, he has given this straight knowledge to us. Now, in verse 29, he makes another declaration, and let's understand that briefly today. And there I'll take a detour, and I'll tell you the reason also why we are going in for a detour. Okay. Now, let's read this shloka, verse 29 of the 13th chapter. Prakritaiva cha karmani kriyamānāni sarvashah yah pashyati tatātmānam akartāram sapashyati. He says, they are the true seers. If you see pashyati, pashyati is coming in every shloka, meaning your seeing or your attitude towards life has to be the right seeing. Unless and until you do your right seeing, meaning you think right, nothing else will happen rightly in your life. Meaning you have to think right, see right, meaning do right. So what is this true seeing? He says that all the actions of the body are performed by material nature, which is Prakriti, in which this embodied soul, this Atma, which is giving that energy to this entire soul. What is the meaning of giving energy? Meaning without this Atma, the body is dead. So this Atma is there, which is just giving that energy. Like as you have electricity in your house, there are several gadgets. You have your TV, you have your mobile, you have your laptop, you have your mixie, you have your microwave, your stove, heater. All these things are gadgets in the house. Now what is this electricity? It is there, available for all these to function. Now what this particular shloka says is, the entire actions in your body are done by that Prakriti, meaning that creation, this body, mind, soul, this body, mind, senses, conglomerate what you have, all this is functioning because of that soul. This is one understanding we have, but understand that you are not doing anything. It is only and only Prakriti is doing each and every action. Now, here when you say you are not doing, this is where I want to take a detour. Now, you is nowhere mentioned in the shloka if you see. Now, what is mentioned? That this Prakriti is doing. That's all. But what have we understood in our lives? We have understood that yes, I am doing. Now I am talking, you are listening. You are seeing here and there. You are making some notes. So now, is it not that there is somebody else in this process other than this embodied soul, the Atma, and other than this Prakriti? You have this I, this Ahankara, what we call. Now, this is a detour where I'll completely now take to what is the biography of an ego. Ego means this ahankar. Now, the Tantra Bhagavat, it says, ahankarat tu samsaro bhavet jivasya na swataha. Meaning, the ego of being the body and the pride of being the doer, that traps the soul in the samsara of life and death. Now you got it? Meaning, how are we trapped in this samsara? Because of that doership. It is known as the karta, the kartrutva, the bhoktrutva. Kartrutva means the doer. Bhoktrutva means the experiencer. How, in what way experience? You experience so many things. You see, you hear, you touch, you feel, you give, you take. All these are experiences of the life. Now, how is all that done? That is all done with the notion of me, I. So, now this is the root cause of our samsara. Samsara means you're being back to life again. And when there is life, there is death along with life at one point. So now, out of my personal experience, what I thought was, if I just tell you all and continue on this, we are missing something very important. What is this I? Now, like if I have to give a metaphor, you are staying in a house and then a snake has come into your house, a poisonous snake. Somebody saw that snake coming and they very clearly said it's a cobra. Okay, I saw a black cobra entering your house. Now, you know that there is a black cobra in your house. What you have to do? You have to remove it. You have to get it ousted. Now, to get it ousted, what you have to do? First, find out where it is, what it is and where it is. What you got to know? It is a poisonous cobra snake. Now, where it is the question. And of course, how to remove it is also a point. Now, if we just go ahead in learning this shloka and move forward, okay, I know that I am not the doer. It is Prakriti who is doing. It is like we are trying to live with the snake inside the house. That I is there. That is what is making me understand today that I am doing everything. Don't we say that? Think for yourself. We all are saying that I have to get up. I have to do this. I have to pay those bills. I have to collect this money. I have to do these following transactions. I have to leave children to the school. I have to pick up so many groceries. Now all this is I. And here what Lord Krishna says is, unless and until you come out of the feeling that you are doing everything what you are doing in your life, there is no moksha for you. Arey? I understand, but now let me understand what this I is. So that's where now we'll take the detour. We'll go into very detailed analysis of this I. I'll take baby steps from the beginning. Tell you various dimensions of what is this I or what is this ego in us. And then how to catch hold of it and how to throw it out. So which means what happens now, you see, with the detour what happens, we are actually searching now where the snake is, and we spotted the snake and then we catch it and we throw it out. Okay, so which means now that I is not there, when the feeling of I is not there, you exactly fit into this shloka. Think for yourself. So what is this? The ego of being the body and the pride of doing each and every action traps the soul in the samsara of life and death. So when the ego itself is not there, where is the question of life and death? When the snake is inside the house, how will you live there? You're always living in fear. Arey, what will happen? Where will it come from now? Anywhere you're going, you'll be only looking. Hope it's not here, hope it's not here. Meaning you're entirely living in fear. Now, by the feeling or by the knowledge of getting to understand this I, and you're able to get rid of this I. Forget about moksha, which is definitely going to come. You will immediately feel that sense of bliss, that sense of peace, that sense of contentment, because you are out of the trap of this ahankar. Okay, now come, let's take a journey towards this ego. We're going to go slow and trying to understand each and everything in the fullest, to the fullest capacity. Now, have you all observed what interests us most in our life? We want to know about ourselves. We want to know more and more about ourselves. That's why we go to astrologers. We go and ask him, what's going to happen in the future? Please tell me. And okay, now the astrologer tells you what's going to happen in the future. Then we'll also ask, can you tell me about my past? Now see, the mind is such that you want to completely get a thorough hang of yourself. With the past, with the future, everything you want. And if somebody is talking about you, and they say, you know, so-and-so was talking about you, what did they say? What did they say? This curiosity is there in each and every person. We want to know what others are thinking about us and what our own life is all about. And if you are passing somewhere and you hear your name, whatever be the amount of sound or chaos, your mind will catch your name and it will move towards that conversation. So it's all our personal experience. Okay, so this is meaning we are now going to talk about this I, which each one of us loves to the maximum extent. Okay, now you have seen people saying, you know, my family is the center of my life. They talk that way. You know, whatever I do for my family. My family is everything. From morning till evening, all the time I'm working is for my family. So you say that I am completely involved in my family. This is one way of version which we see in our daily lives. And there is another version which we also hear is some mothers who have young kids, you know, they say, this child is everything to me. My child. My whole life is for this child. Especially if you have a newly born. If you have a newly born, it's not only that mother who is thinking about the child, but the entire family is after the child. The moment the child gets up, like everybody wants to come and visit the child, and they are like waiting for an opportunity to be with the child. So here, this child is my life, the mother says. Okay, this baby. And then, in case of a newly married, they have the spouse as their life for some time. That yes, everything is only hovering about the spouse. The spouse has gone to the washroom and this other person says, what is taking you so much time? Where did you go? He says, I had gone to the washroom. But why so much time? You know, meaning without the spouse for a few minutes, that person cannot stay. Now here, the same attention is on the spouse. There are another set of people where they say, nation is everything for me. Like as we have all the great leaders of our country, freedom fighters, for them nation was at the top priority. They didn't care for anything else. For some it is my organization or my company. For some it is my goal. I have a specific goal in my life. That is everything for me. So in this way, different people have got different focus in their life. And look at the children. For children, their mother is everything. They can't stay even for a few minutes without the mother. All the time they are clinging with the mother when they are small. So here again, you have that sense of I, which is focused on a particular person, object or thing. Now the question comes. When we say I is the center of our life, like where it is the children as the center of our life, the mother as the center of our life, the parent as the center of our life, or the nation or the company, we say all this, so many things seem to be center of our lives. One can have one or even more. So how does this work? See, we say my spouse, my husband, my wife, my child, my country, whatever. Without an I, you cannot say this. Think. You say it is my. I, my, all same. My country, my child, my husband, my wife, my job. So, whenever there is an I and there is also a my. Now, as I told you, we are going to the basics. So, we are trying to understand. Now, another angle to this. Only with respect to I, there is something called as my, which we understood now. Were it not for an I, would there be a my? Ask a question. So, without an I being the center of my life, so actually speaking, for all of us, what is the center of our life? Without an I being the center of my life, can there be a my? Like there are some people where they are drug addicts, let's say, alcoholic, drug addicts, they are in a different world altogether. Nowadays, addiction is even in different areas, like it could be a net addiction or a social media or a video game or a movie addiction. Yes, these are all addictions. Now, even there, when you see, there is no I or my, but why is this person so much addicted to something in life of this nature? Now, here the reason is that he gets a sense of satisfaction, some joy, some happiness. It's a fact or not? Now, it is not for the sake of the drug. It is not for the movie's sake, but it is for the sake of the person, that happiness. It is saying, it is not for my sake. It may not be the center of my life, but eventually any person is doing something because it is giving him happiness. He may not use the word I or my or mine, whatever it is, but he finds some happiness somewhere and he keeps doing that. These are all different versions we are talking about I. Now the next question comes. What is this I we are talking about, which is the center of all our lives? Now we are going a little deeper. After the superficial study, let's understand what is this. Here, what the science and even the Shastras, the scriptures talk about is, they say it is a notion. A notion, a thought, a feeling of I-ness. Ness means like sweetness, bitterness, I-ness. It is that feeling, a thought. Yes, I is there. Now, for example, you are listening. So you say, if I ask, are you listening? You make a slight nod. Yes, we are listening. Now, we are talking about this I who is listening and nodding the head. Meaning what is happening exactly here is, you immediately attach a word I to every action you are doing. So what happens? It is a notion, a thought which is prefixed to every action that we do. Now, next. We keep saying this person is very close to me, extremely close to me. Now you ask yourself in the true sense, who is the closest to you in your life? There can't be anybody closer to you than this I notion. There is nothing closer to you than this I notion. The first thing you wake up in the morning, it is the I which wakes up, and then you get to listen to the alarm. It is the I which wakes up, and then you immediately know where you are sleeping and what you are, and all the list of things to do for the day. They immediately come to your mind. I have to get ready, I have to go here, I have to pick up this, I have to deliver this, I have to call so and so person, I have to fix this appointment, all these things. Now, unless and until this I wakes up, you will not get that. The world is not there for you. So you say it is a sunrise, or you say it is a particular date. It is the 22nd of February, or it is a Tuesday. Now if you have to say all this, you have to wake up first. And what wakes up is that I. And this I remains with you throughout the day. An next person comes, the so-called very close to you. He comes and he or she goes away. But this I is there. When the person came, this I was there. And when the person went, the I is there. After X, Y comes. I is there. Y goes away. I is still there. Same way, Z comes. So, whoever comes and goes in your life, I is a constant factor in your life. So now you got to understand the proximity, meaning there is nobody closer to you than this I notion in your life. This is what another understanding which we need to get to our mind. Even when you go, the last thing you do before going to sleep, you're about to go to sleep. You may have your children, you may have your family, your spouse, your various gadgets, various thoughts of so many things which you have. Now all this will exist in your mind till the time this I is there in your mind. Think about it. As all the things came after I woke up, till the time this I is there, this whole gambit of all your thoughts, your possessions, your near, your dear, everybody is there. But the moment this I goes to sleep, the whole world is not there for you. So the closest to you, the first and the last with you, from the morning to night, from your birth till death, this I is the closest to you. So now when this is the case, definitely we must understand about this I to much greater depths. Now it is not only for these facts, but we should understand all the more, because we know that because of this I am trapped into this world. It's a literal trap, this I. This is what has bound you to the ocean of birth and death. So, this I, like, you may even think of God. You may even think of your Guru, you may think of the scriptures, you may think of the sadhana. Before that, first the I comes to your mind. See, it is so strong, not only for the worldly things, it is for everything. You go to a temple and pray. You may visit a temple, you may appreciate the decoration of the deity over there, and then you may sing about the glory of the Lord, and you can even offer your frustrations also. But there again, it is the I which is there before everything. So now, next question comes is, now we have understood so far the various facets of I. Now let's understand, where is this I? Is this inside me or is this outside me? Alright, meaning I comes from this. We are asking about the location of I. Okay, now we'll try to get this point. Now this is a little interesting. Now, we can never have this I notion in something, which is, you call it as this. With this meaning outside of us. Now you have a mobile in front of you, okay? Or you have a laptop and you all are listening to me. Can the I notion come from the laptop or the mobile, which is outside you? Just think for a moment. Can you get this I notion? You're looking at the laptop, at your mobile, and or it could be anything in your room. It could be the AC, the fan, the table, the chair. From none of these things this I notion can come. Meaning this laptop, this table, this book, this pen, this AC, from anything known as this, which is outside you, you will never get this I. So which means I, it starts from your body. Not even a millimeter outside your body, you will get to see I. Now we are looking at the location, okay, of where this I is. Now why do we want the location of this I? Unless and until you know where the snake is, how will you catch it? We should know where it is hiding. So in this context, we are studying the location now. Okay, so it is not outside me, it is inside me. How do we go in for this study? Let's take our body, because it starts from the body. What do you say? You say, I am dark, I am fair, I am tall, I am short. You say, I. The moment we talk of a body, fat, I am thin, all these, you say I. And when it goes to the next level, let's talk of our senses, our eyes, our ears. What do you say? My eyes are itchy today, or my eyes are watering. My nose has become very sensitive today. I'm smelling, I'm seeing, I'm hearing. Now you connect this I to your senses. So which means anything outside your body, I was not connecting. Okay, but when it came to what your body, it started saying my hand, my leg, my body, I'm tall, I'm short, I and my. Okay, it started connecting to your body, and the same it started connecting to your senses. Now let's go a little deeper. Body is Annamaya Kosha. Now Pranamaya Kosha. Pranamaya Kosha is, you get the feeling I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. I am satiated, now I am full. All this is pranamaya. Now there you say, I am hungry, I am thirsty, I am satiated. So even to the pranas, what has happened is this I feeling has strongly set its fold. So the location of I is from the body, it is at the level of the senses, and it is also at the level of the pranas. Annamaya, Manomaya, Pranamaya. Now, emotions in the mind. I am sad. I am very happy. I am angry. Now all these are the emotions of the mind. Manomaya. Who is saying this? I is now associated with the mind as well. So Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. Now comes the Vijnanamaya, the fourth kosha. Now here it says Vijnanamaya is intelligence, intellect. There you say I understand, I don't understand. It's boring. It's very interesting. I get creative thoughts. I'm sensitive. All this is told by your intellect. The mind connects to the intellect. Look. So the mind is also associated with your Vijnanamaya kosha. So in this way, this I am thought, it identifies and becomes. So you are one, or are you many? Now this question comes to our mind. You meaning you are saying for the body also you are saying I am connected, senses also you are connected, pranas you are connected, intellect you are connected. Is it one or is it many? So here the answer to this is only a notion. Bear that in mind. We have already discussed what this I is. This is only a background we are giving to the whole understanding. I is just a notion. It is a thought. And where my whole life, from morning to night and from birth to death, I am engrossed in this thought of I-ness. So now the question comes. You are saying it's a notion. So which means, am I not the body? A natural question, isn't it? You are saying it's a notion. It has got nothing to do with the body. So let's ask a question. Am I not the body? I have become all this with respect to having this feeling. So what is the genesis of this I? From where did it come? How did it come? So who am I then? I don't understand. I am saying I am tall, I am short, I am dark, I am fair, I am slim, I am hefty, I understand, I don't understand, I am hungry, I am sad, I am happy. All this notion. You say, meaning, am I the body, mind, senses, intellect plus the notion? Or is it that I am just the notion? Tell me this now. I am confused. Because I have that clear feeling of what I am. I am extremely connected. It's not that I am talking out of my experience. Meaning your experience, my experience. Now here the scriptures are telling us something, but how do we accept this? Because I am living with that feeling, that strong feeling of I. Tell me, if I am sad, don't I know that I am sad? If I am puzzled, don't I know that I am puzzled? If I am hungry, don't I know that I am hungry? I don't need anybody else, or I don't need a gadget or an app to tell me, oh, now you are hungry, you should eat. No. And now you are full, you should stop eating. Nothing tells me. I know for myself. So now you said in the beginning that it is a notion, and then now we also analyze that each and every segment of the body, we understood that this I is connected to that portion of the body, mind and senses, prana, intellect. So is it only a notion by itself, or is it body, mind, senses, intellect, everything plus the notion? This is the question. So here, now let's look at this way. Now there is a person who is sitting in front of me. So the person is talking and also listening. So we are talking of whom now? We are talking of one entity. Now you are an entity, I am an entity. We have to first clearly understand. Now whom are we discussing about in this whole process? We are not discussing of somebody else. We are discussing of that person, that I notion, that I factor which is deep inside. I'm just drawing your attention. Suddenly you may feel that we are talking of some third person. No, we are talking of you, meaning we're talking of I. So bringing back that I factor again into yourself, understand that we are talking of that entity which is the cause for this samsara and which is the cause for this ignorance, which Lord Krishna has told us here, which we need to get rid of this. So when you look at your mobile screen and you are clearly understanding that yes, I am looking at this. I am listening to a voice. I am understanding this. So this I is in the entire periphery. I is playing a very dominant role. So the fact that you are listening means what? It is not that the ears that listen. It is the mind which is behind the ears which is listening. If you are seeing, it is the eyes, not that the eyes are seeing. Eye is only an instrument. There is something called the mind which is behind the eyes which is seeing. So we are talking about that entity now, which is right within us and which is getting all the information from the mind, and the mind is getting all the information from the various sense organs. See how this connect is happening. So what is this I? What is this ego? Now we know where it is. We know how we are connected to this. Now let's just get a bit of an understanding. One primary thing we all have to be careful is when we use the word ego or biography of an ego, what happens is, in Vedanta the word ego is different from the various other languages. Ahankar. In normal parlance, what happens is, ego means they talk of an abhiman. In Sanskrit, the word ego is aham bhava, meaning the I notion, that's all. I notion is called as ego here. We are not talking of any pride or any abhiman over here. See the difference. When it comes to a pride, we call in Sanskrit garva, abhiman. So when aham bhava means, it is just the notion as I am doing. Aham karoti iti ahankaraha in Sanskrit. So this understanding of aham, we have to, aham or ahankara, what we are talking is aham bhava. We have to get this straight, that it is not of any pride or not of any, oh, he is very egoistic, we say no. That is the reason I am just trying to clarify. It has got nothing to do with pride over here. It is only the sense of doership. Aham karoti, meaning I am doing. Now I am talking. So that's all. So in Vedanta, Ahankara is different to all the other usage or in the local parlance. It's just that meaning of I notion. So now, when this I notion, I am doing, it gets fattened, or it gets strong, it gets well rooted, and it gets overestimated and bloated, then it is called as pride, Ahankar. Till then it is Aham only, ego. When does it become Ahankar? When it bloats. It is fed properly. It is again and again, you talk too much about it. Then this Aham Bhava slowly becomes Ahankara. I'll give an example. Now let's say I am a sadhak. Like we all are sadhaks, right? We are trying to achieve something on the path of spirituality. I say I am a sadhak. So when I say I am a sadhak, I am relating to this body, I am relating to this person. So here, there is nothing to talk about abhiman or pride over here. I am just saying I am a sadhak. But if I try to say that I am the best sadhak in the world or the best sadhak in town, what happens? That is where you have abhiman. Because you have fed that notion of aham bhava in you with various other factors, and you are trying to pose that you are the best. Where you have this pride has been an overestimation. So aham bhava, which we are now talking of the ego, is simply means that whenever you attach to any action of yours, that I factor, that is what we are talking about. We are not talking about this pride or abhimana, which is garva. Okay. This is that very subtle difference which we need to understand. Otherwise, you will be getting the whole thing, you will be getting wrong. Because if you primarily do not know the meaning of ahankara, then we will not be able to take it in the right perspective. So now, this aham bhava, it is something which cannot be objectified. Now, this is one very important thing. Meaning, it is not like, as I see my hand, I cannot see the aham bhava. As I see my thought, I cannot see it. As I feel my hunger, I cannot objectify it. Reason? This particular aham bhava, it hides behind each and everything. It is not in the forefront. Its habit is, it always hides behind something. It loves to hide. And it's one of its most favorite place. Like as you know, each one of us have a favorite place in our home. It could be anything. In your living room, you have a favorite place. In your drawing room, in your bedroom, you have something known as a favorite place. So this aham bhava, ego, it has a favorite place, and that favorite place is pride. It just wants to go and hide before that pride. You are proud of something, and you know this ahankar is something which it relishes to be there. Now, this particular ahankara, now we are coming to the crux. What is its true nature? So far we understood it is just a notion, a thought. Now, this is very well explained in a Prakarana Grantha, which is known as Saddarshan. Saddarshan is one of the very well-known books written by Sri Ramana Maharshi. Now, there he talks about, it's in one of the very prominent shlokas, verse 27, he properly he talks about this ahankara. He says, Rupodbhava rupatati pratishto Rupashano dhuta grita rupaha Swayam virupa swavichara kale Dhavatyahankara pishacha eshaha. What is this? He has described so well. He says, you know how an ego is born? He says it is a ghost. And from where it is born? It is born in the midst of forms. Now I'm just giving you a direct explanation of the shloka. Now we'll take it in detail. It is a kind of a ghost which is born from the midst of forms. From various group of forms. And what does it do? It dwells on the form and it eats the forms. It is now holding a particular form. It dwells on it and at one point it eats the form. It is itself formless and upon inquiry it itself runs away. By now you must have got an understanding of what this particular ahankara is. I'll just take you through this shloka in detail and we'll end it at this point. And in the next class, we'll take in much more detail of how to get rid of this, how to unwind. It's a ghost, isn't it? So now we have to get rid of this ghost. So now what it says? Rupo udbhava, meaning it rises from a form. Now what is this form? I am the body. It starts from this body. I am the mind. I am the senses. So this particular form, what it did now? It got attached to that form. Rupo pratishtaha. So where does this Mr. Ahankara stay? It stays with one form or the other. Sometimes it's with the mind, sometimes it's with the body, sometimes it's with the senses, sometimes it's with the intellect. Rupo pratishtaha. It stays with some form or the other. It is never seen alone. It's always with some form or the other. Okay, Mr. Ahankara, what is your job? What do you do from all day, from morning to night? What do you do? Where do you go to work and what is your workplace? What is your job? For that it says, like in the olden days meaning about, you can say 25-30 years ago. During those days we had, 30 plus you can say, yes. We had lot of snail mail. So where you used to get letters and all the letters used to go to the post office. And in this post office you could see a postman sitting there and there is a pigeon box in front of him, several small open boxes. All the letters which come, what he does, he puts a stamp, tapak, he puts a stamp and he puts it in one particular pigeon box. Anything which comes, tapak, and place it somewhere. He holds it, he stamps it and he puts it there. So now, in the same way, now what this Ahankara, it exactly does that. Dhuta grihita rupaha. Any form it takes, it puts a stamp and places in that box. Meaning, now, body is hungry. It immediately says, I am hungry. Leg is paining. My leg is paining. Sadness in the mind. I am sad. So this way, this particular Ahankara, whatever is happening in this body-mind complex, it puts that stamp that I am listening, I am talking, my body is paining, I am hungry, I am full. Now all this is that Ahankara which is there in us. It continuously, only whenever something is happening. Please don't forget, we have studied what is Prakriti, What is Purusha, what is Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, Gneya. We know how this entire structure is created. Everything happens automatically within us. But what is this ahankara doing? It says this notion which is there in me all the time, Dhita Grihita Rupaha. Oh, this ahankara, Mr. Ahankara, you have remained with me all the time. What do you eat? It says, I eat forms. You just take a form. You say, I am sleepy. Your body is feeling sleepy by the clock. And it says, I am sleepy. I want to sleep. Everywhere it says, I fatten myself with forms. I am strong. I am weak. I am lazy. I am energetic. So, Mr. Ahankara, you are with forms in each and every form. You live from one form to another form. You arise from one form and you go to another form. He says, then what is your form? Tell me that. Do you have, what is your actual form? Every time you are associated, either with the body, with the mind, with the senses. Please tell me your form, Mr. Ahankara. Swayam Virupaha. He says, I have no form. I have no form. I only identify. I myself have no form. I am formless. I am Swayam Virupaha. Swavichara Kale. At the time of thinking on who this Ahankara is. Now we are thinking. Dhavati. It runs away. The moment you start thinking and you start questioning who this Ahankara is, it runs away. Like now you have gone to the place where the snake is. And the snake senses that yes, so many people are coming near me. With its ultraviolet rays, it understands. And it sees an opening, there is a window there, it runs away. You don't even have to drive it. So the same is with this I notion in us. Now, much more detail of this I we shall take up in the next class. As to how we can get rid of this. Now we know where it is, what its actual status is, and when you start inquiring, it runs away. Meaning, now we have to do the inquiry. So we'll be using some principles of inquiry in the next class, and you will be completely convinced that I has got no relevance in my life. I am unnecessarily living with this I, and I'm unnecessarily being attached and drowned in so much of misery. I didn't have to do that. So that detachment will happen from your own self. That is what exactly Lord Krishna says is, you don't have to, you are not doing anything. I have created this Prakriti and on its own everything is happening. Why are you unnecessarily saying that I am doing this, I am doing that? Don't take credit for all this. It is not you who is doing all this. It is that Prakriti alone who is doing. The moment you understand that, then you are released out of this samsara. Yah pashyati tatatmanam akartaram. Akartaram means I am not the doer. Saha pashyati. When you say that I am not the doer and you keep performing in your life, then you have seen life in the right manner. Then who is doing? Prakriti is doing. Who is the creator of the Prakriti? Paramatma is the creator of the Prakriti. Where did this I come from? It is a ghost. It has come from endless lives. So more about this I will take up in the next class. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Now we'll go to Shri Vishnu Sahasranama. 2 divine names. Dhamma and Satya, 211 and 212. So first let's read the 23rd shloka. Gurur Gurutamo Dhama Satya Satya Parakramaha Nimisho Nimishasragvi Vachaspatiruddharati. Dhama, the goal, the sacred destination of a pilgrimage. The supreme is the Parandhama, the supreme destination. Having reached there, or having reached which, there is nothing more to reach beyond. This absolute state of perfection is called the peak, Dhama. The Sanskrit term Dhama also means effulgence, which is Tejas. So the pure consciousness, as the illuminator of all experiences, is considered and glorified as the light of all lights. As the Narayana Upanishad declares, Narayana is the supreme light. The Mundaka Upanishad also says, Brahman is the supreme whole. 212. Satyaha, one who is himself the truth. The difference from the general connotation we have for the term that which remains without a change in the past, present and future is called Satyam. Truth, knowledge, infinite is Brahman. Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma. Thunder the scriptures. So the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also says the pranas are the truth and he is the truth of them. So in this way, this Lord Vishnu is the ultimate goal of one's life and he is the ultimate truth in one's life. To such a divine Lord, we offer our humble salutations. Now let's read the Dhanvantari mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaya Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaya Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaya Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Our humble salutations to Lord Dhanvantari, the Lord of Health. We pray for His blessings. Om Tat Sat. An announcement. I have some travel plans which have not been decided yet. So I'm not sure about this Friday whether we'll be having the Tattva Bodha class or not. And I did want to post a recording, but many are saying that we would like to have it live. So keeping that in mind, I'll let you all know about this Friday and also about the coming Tuesday. Now, if I travel somewhere around Thursday or Friday, then It may go for a week. So that's the reason. Till further information of the coming Friday and the next Tuesday's class, you please await a notification from us. Hari Om. Let's do the Sakshatkara Siddhi Yoga Dhyana. Please make yourself comfortable. Adjust your body positions. Relax your body. That for the next 10-12 minutes, you have complete cooperation from your body. Sit comfortably and in an erect position. Head, neck and spine in a straight line. Let's take a few deep breaths. As deep as you can, inhale and exhale. Now we start with the first level, Antarika, Drishyana with Samadhi. Savikalpa with thoughts. Observe your mind. Observe the thoughts in your mind without being judgmental. Allow the thoughts to pass away. See the thoughts gradually coming down, and eventually you have no thoughts. Now we slowly move to the next level, the second level, Antarika. Shabdhanuvit Savikalpa Samadhi. Using the mode of sound in the form of a mantra, Jnana Shakti and Ichcha Shakti. Visualizing the Atma and Paramatma being one and the same. Stay in that thought. So hum. So hum. So hum. Keep repeating the mantra in your mind. Experience the oneness of the divinity and the awareness within yourself. As you inhale, it is so, and as you exhale, it is hum. So hum. Combine it with your breathing pattern and feel the oneness within yourself. Now we go a little deeper, the third level, Antarika, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. You have transcended your body, your mind. You're just floating in the awareness without the sense of the body, the mind, the senses. If someone asks you a question, are you aware? You take a pause and of course you say the answer is yes, I am aware. What happened in that pause? You became aware of being aware. Now ask yourself that question again and again and stay in that pause of being aware. So hum. So hum. So hum. Slowly bring your attention to the tip of your nostrils. Observe the breath going in and out. Become aware of your body, your mind, your senses. Become aware of where you are seated. Slowly rub your palm. Place them on your eyes. Gently and lovingly open your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together we offer today's Gita Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord. Seek His grace, mercy and blessings. Our humble salutations to the entire Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat. Thank you everybody for being a part of this wonderful journey. Please keep your sadhana intact and enhance as much as you can. And seek the glory and blessings of the Lord. Hari Om.
ज्ञेयं ग्रसिष्णुप्रभविष्णु च